everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be showing you guys a little bit of the Good and the Beautiful's science prep. I'm going to be prepping a brand new unit. By the way, I'm Rebecca, this is Magnolia Homeschool. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If that is something that you're interested in seeing, stick around. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So like I said, I'm going to be showing you guys how I prep a unit of the Good and the Beautiful's science for my kiddos. I have grades 1st, 4th, 5th, 7th, and 8th grade. My 8th grader does science on his own. He uses a Beka. I do plan on having all of my kids go through high school individually instead of using units. But for my elementary kiddos and even my 7th grader, I love to use the Good and the Beautiful science units. The next unit that we're going to be using, we're finishing up space right now, and the next unit that we're going to be using is meteorology. Obviously, I don't have my cover page. I'm not really sure what happened to it, but it was a beautiful art page and I don't have it. I'm not sure if it got thrown away or mixed up into another curriculum. Somehow I got unorganized and that is what happened. But this is meteorology and I'm going to be showing you guys how I prep the unit. Normally I would put my cover page either laminated and as a cover or inside the sleeve of a binder, depending on which storage solution I went with. I have used the binder system before and I've also bound the material myself, but for this science unit we're going to be using the binder system. I really find that the binder system for the Good and the Beautiful works out really good. There's also pages that you have to pull out of here, and then if you don't have them in the binder or bound, then they're kind of just loose in a folder, and I don't care for that either. So I just find that the binder system really works the best for the Good and the Beautiful science units. That way I have my 3-hole punch for all the pages, and then when I do need to pull pages out, it's very simple to just open the binder, pull out the pages I need, make copies or prints from the PDF that I have, because you also get the PDF when you purchase the hard copy. But for the pages that I need to pull out, it's super easy to pull them out when you use the binder system. So I will be using the binder system for this unit, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I prep them, and we'll do a separate video to show you all the read alouds that I plan to use for this unit, but I do want to show you how I prepare it and get it ready for us to use and teach. So let's go ahead. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to go sit at the table and just kind of show you guys how I do it. Okay, y'all, so for starters, the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is separate this booklet into stacks of different categories. So to the right of me, I'm just putting all the things that need to be 3-hole punched and put into the binder. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull out the vocabulary cards, which need to be laminated and then cut. I'm going to go ahead and just write a little sticky note reminding myself what I need to do with that. And then as I prepare each lesson, I just look at this little page right here, or this little section where it says preparation, and it'll tell me exactly what I need to pull, cut, make copies of, whatever. It'll tell me. I'll make a sticky note saying which lesson it goes with, just so that I don't get confused as I'm organizing everything. And then I'll just continue on to the next lesson. If it needs copies for each kid, I'll go ahead and make copies really quick. I'm sitting right by my printer, so it's not hard for me to go back and forth or whatever. And I'm always making sticky notes on each thing that I pull out. I always try to keep the originals of things that I'm not cutting out, like of worksheets. I try to keep the original in the stack that I'm going to be 3-hole punching and putting into the binder. Right here, I just showed you guys really quick. That was it. I put the original back in, made my copies, labeled the lesson, and then put it in the stack. So that stack up there at the top right corner is going to be the stack of things that I go through and separate into 5 different folders for each kid to have a little workbook, because that all makes up all the little worksheets that they had to make copies of for each lesson. And that's also some of the mini books I'm going to go ahead and cut, which you'll see later on in the video. I'm going to actually turn it off of voiceover and kind of have a little bit of a chit chat with you guys. I thought that might be kind of fun once I fast forward through all of these like little tedious moments here. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera back around and kind of chat with y'all a little bit about the Good and the Beautiful science units, how I use them, how I store them, and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy that. So as you're going to see here in just a second, I'm using an old binder. It doesn't have to be new. I reuse my binders for each individual science unit. I will take out the old one, put in the new one, store the old one in a gallon-size Ziploc, which I'm going to talk to you also about at the end of the video as well. Now I'm just going to do my 3-hole punch, put everything into my binder, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a little bit of how I kind of like organize it, because there's like those sections in the front of the book that show you the supplies that are needed as well as the read alouds. I'm just going to use some tabs that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and they work really good for this. So I'm just going to mark off with one color tab for one section, another color tab for the next section, and then I'm going to use another tab at the top of the page to show which lesson we are currently on. But this way I can easily get back to the supplies needed as well as the read alouds that reference or that they suggest for those lessons. So here's a little close-up of what that looks like. Yeah, you could use any kind of sticky note or tab you want, but these from Dollar Tree really work well. They stick well, and we really like to use them. I use them for everything. So I just wanted to show you guys that little idea really quick. And now I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my mini books and staple them. I used to staple 3 staples down the side, but I have come to find that it just works out much better when I add the staple right there at the top corner, and I can flip really easily. I don't know, guys, for me it works better this way, but you can try either way if you'd like, and that's how I build my mini books. Okay, so I kind of wanted to chat with y'all while I finished cutting out these mini books, since you already saw what that looks like. And I'm pretty sure you guys know how to cut straight on a line. So I figured that I would kind of chat with y'all as I finished cutting these out, because I want to talk a little bit about what all the things, what extra things I do to go with the Good and the Beautiful's science units. And so one of the things I'm going to do is go in to the front of the front section of the book, and look through the read alouds. I'm going to pick out which read alouds I want my kids to go through. Excuse me, y'all. I'm struggling with a sneeze attack right now. And then I will go onto the library's website and do curbside pickup for our library books. Beka. And that way we have all of the read alouds that we need. And so what I'll do is I will go and do a separate video. Some of the read alouds that I choose aren't on the list. So I'll do a separate video showing y'all how or which books, showing y'all which books I chose for this unit study. So be on the lookout for that. After I choose our read alouds for this, after I choose the read alouds, I'll go ahead and look up any YouTube videos that will go with this unit. I'll search meteorology, I'll search weather patterns, I'll kind of just search keywords that have to do with this unit, and then I will like save to a private playlist or whatever on my channel. I'll just save those videos, and then whenever I'm ready to, and I'll make note in my lesson planner to know, like, okay, lesson 16, I found a good video to go with that or whatever. So that way I know that I did save a video for that lesson. My kids absolutely love when I have YouTube videos to go with their lessons for science. And also it gives me a little break from having to like
go extra into the subject to dig a little deeper, I can kind of just like put them with their laptop to watch the video, and then we can just discuss it after that. Otherwise, I would have to kind of give that lesson verbally myself. I do the lesson, I just mean the extra topic conversation that I'm looking for them. So YouTube is a really great way for me to get that and not have to, you know, kind of have maybe 5 to 10 minutes of alone time, or I can sip my coffee. I usually will watch the videos with them because they're usually pretty interesting. We actually love to do science, even though we fall behind on it sometimes. Science is definitely one of our favorite subjects. So it's why I try so hard to manage our block scheduling so well. And it's also one of the reasons I put it into our afternoon basket, because it tends to get done more that way. So yeah, so after I do read alouds, I do YouTube videos. After YouTube videos, I will go ahead and, like I said, all this is marked in my lesson planner. After the YouTube videos, I usually go make a shopping list, and I will get any supplies that I want to do projects, any supplies for the projects that I've chosen to do. We don't do every single experiment or project, but we try to do a lot of them because, of course, it is so super fun. So I'll make a shopping list, and I will go and get all the things that I need for the entire unit if it's affordable. Most of the time, any of the Good and the Beautifuls projects are going to be affordable things or things that you have on hand at your house already. So it's usually pretty easy to do a project or to get the things to make them. I usually will check Dollar. I feel like I said usually a ton. I'll normally check Dollar Tree first. And if Dollar Tree doesn't have what I need, and if, of course, I check my cabinets, if I don't have it here, then I'll go to Walmart and check there. Every once in a while, I'll find that I have to get onto Amazon to find something. But for the most part, if I don't have it here, I can get it at Dollar Tree, which makes it really affordable to be able to do as many projects as we want to do in our science. Because, of course, like I said, it makes it super fun. The kids really love doing the projects. And I always put those projects on Instagram, or I try to. So be sure to follow me there so that you can keep up with us if you'd like to do that. I'll go ahead and link that down below. But yeah, so that is what we do. After read alouds, after YouTube, we do our shopping for the unit, and I'll typically keep all the supplies either in a large Ziploc bag if, you know, it fits in that. If not, I will put it in like a little Dollar Tree container. Okay, sorry guys, had a distraction. Of course, that happens with this many kids in the house. Okay. So where were we? We were talking about supplies and how I store them in little buckets. So yeah, that way I have everything together in one spot. Also, if I have a Latchmate container available, I will use a Latchmate container. I will link one of those down below so that you can see what I'm talking about, but it's a great way to store unit studies. The only thing is it doesn't fit a binder, and because I'm doing the binder system, I can't keep my binder in the container, and I don't like that. So yeah, but it's a great way to hold all your supplies. It holds all your mini books. But I'm going to go ahead and show you a different way to store all of this. I'm going to just use Ziploc bags and my binder, and it's going to be just fine. One of the things that I do for storage also is I will put dividers that have pockets in between like every 2 or 3 lessons, which basically is a week worth of work. So because we do 2 or 3 lessons a week in science, so like every 2 or 3 lessons, depending on the size of the lesson, I'll add a divider into that. And I will keep all the components like these mini books or worksheets or whatever needs to go with those lessons in those pocket folders. And that has actually been one of my favorite ways to use the Good and the Beautiful unit studies, or to store them. So I may even do that this time. As of right now, I'm just going to use these little binder clips because I actually have to get to Dollar Tree to pick up some more gallon size Ziplocs. I don't have any on hand right now because we used them all up already. So, okay, I am done cutting out my mini books. I have my whole stack here. I am going to go ahead and keep my sticky note on each one showing me which lesson that it goes with, just so that nothing gets mixed up and confused. Okay, so after I do my mini books are cut out, I'm going to put that aside, and then I'm going to have all of these pages that are labeled to cut. I am going to cut those out. Typically what I'll do though, because these are handled by the kids, I will laminate them and then cut them out. And I will just write like on the back the title. So let me just show you a little example. So this page is titled, maybe you won't be able to see it, but it's titled Ice Crystals. It's a little bitty title up here. So I will just write on the back after laminating what the title of that page was. That way I have, and I'll just use a Sharpie to do that. And that way I know what the title was, because in the book, it'll say to use the ice crystal cards. So I want to make sure that I know that that is them. But another thing that I do is when I cut these out, they'll fit perfectly in quart size Ziplocs. And again, I'll use the Dollar Tree brand. It doesn't need to be an expensive brand of Ziploc. And so they're laminated, they're cut, and then I store them in the quart size Ziplocs or even snack size if it's smaller cutouts. And then after that, all those little bags will fit in 1 gallon size bag. Even the mini books will fit into that gallon size bag. So I really like to store my stuff like that. It's just very easy to grab the binder and the gallon Ziploc. And even, you can even, I'm going to actually show you really quickly, because you can even use your binder clips to clip your Ziploc to your binder. Let me show you. Over here I have like where I keep my current science unit. So you can just see how I have all my mini books in here. I have little components that I got from just different resources. I have a little book in here. I have flashcards in here. I have my mini books, and then I have my cutouts. So this is what I was talking about. We have Ziploc bags, little snack size. We have quart size, and we have some loose little cards. These are all laminated. And so that all fits very nicely into the gallon size bag. And then I can flip to the back of my binder if I desire to do so. And I can use a binder clip to clip that Ziploc here. And that way it's not falling. It's not going anywhere. It may not close tightly, but it is all together. So that is an option. But because I have this little like teacher command center behind me, I just store all of my things together in the drawer. I don't actually have to have it clipped because I just place it on top. But if you were maybe using a shelf and you wanted it to stay within the binder, a clip would definitely work for that. So like I said, all of my little components that I'm going to cut out, which would be all of these things that I'm going to cut out, will store perfectly in little smaller bags inside the big bag or whatever. And that's one of the reasons that I will laminate them, is to keep them lasting longer, because typically these are the cords and the things that the kids will be handling themselves. And of course, you know, if you have kids, it's a given. Things will get torn or bent up, and nobody really wants to use things once they've been destroyed. So I cannot show you laminating right now because I don't have, unfortunately, I don't have any laminator sleeves. I just ordered them from Amazon yesterday, but I don't want to put off getting this video out, so I'm not going to wait for them to come in. I'm going to just go ahead and show y'all that those things, all the things in the book that say cut out, and usually it is the things with black lines around. I'm going to put this a little bit closer. If you can see those black lines around it, those are the things that I will typically laminate and then cut out. And I always laminate first as a full sheet and then cut out. And if you don't think that you need double-sided laminating, you can put 2 back sides together, as long as you're going to be, you know, as long as you're using the same size sheet, I guess. Back sides together and pass them through. And then when you cut your dotted lines, it'll come apart, and only your front sides will be laminated. So that is definitely something that I usually do, because it saves laminating paper, it saves me a little bit of time, and it also just gives me the right amount of sturdiness that I need, and I'm not wasting too many things. So like I said, it'll just laminate the front. The only thing about that is sometimes I will double side tape these things to the wall. Like my vocabulary cards, I'll definitely double laminate the both front and back of those, because when I tape them to the wall, when I pull them off, it'll tear if I don't have both sides laminated. So if it's something like vocabulary words going on the wall, I'll laminate both sides. If it's just something that's going to be handled as like a little game on the table or passed around from kid to kid, then I'll usually just laminate the front side by putting back sides together and cutting. So that is another little tip to help you guys kind of save some time and money as you are preparing this. So all of these things I'm looking through really quick just to make sure. And yeah, all of these things are going to be laminated and handled because they're going to be handled by the kids. So I will just clip them right now because I don't have any laminator sleeves to show you. And I will just pass these through the laminator when they come in. I'm just going to label this laminate and then cut. And then I'm also going to put, so that's going to just go in the binder with the mini books and all my things waiting for my gallon Ziploc bags. And then I'm going to just make a quick little list. I need Ziploc bags and I need prong folders. I usually have them here, and I thought that I still had some in stock here, but apparently I used up the last one. I normally buy like a ton of these at a time because I can get them for like 10 cents sometimes, but I did not do that. And so actually this should have went with that. So I didn't do that this time, and so I thought when I went in my closet, I was like, oh, I know I have those. But when I went in my closet, I quickly realized that I did not indeed have any more prong folders. So yeah, I haven't bought folders in about over a year because I had bought so many at one time. But I usually get, but I will get the kids new prong folders for every unit. And that way we don't have to pull them apart and we can keep the units together every time. So the next step is going to be just separating all of my copies into 5 piles. And of course that would be 1 pile per kid. And then I will hole punch those and put them in a prong folder with some loose leaf in the back and maybe even some blank pages in the front pocket. I'll make sure it has prongs and pockets, and that is all that I'm going to do. I'm going to label it. I usually color code, but I will label it with their names on it and the science unit's title, and that will be it. And that notebook or that folder will work as their workbook for this entire unit. So when I tell them they need to do a certain worksheet, they just open up that folder and go to it like that. They also, you can also use a binder, like a little 1-inch binder. We just think that folders store a little bit better in the carts that we use. So I use folders for them, but you could definitely use binders if you wanted, or you could simply hand out each sheet every time that you guys did a lesson and they needed one of the worksheets. And then you could store their finished copies however you wanted. I just use the prong folders. I find it to be easier. So with all of that being said, that is how I prepare a science unit. If this is something that helped you out, motivated you, inspired you, or gave you any kind of idea, or made you feel good about your school day, I hope that you give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, I would love it if you stuck around this channel and hit that subscribe button. If you do that, go ahead and ring the bell right next to it, and you'll be notified every time I post a video. This channel is very new, and so I would really love it if you commented, liked, and shared on all your social medias to help the word get out about my new channel. If you haven't checked out my other channel yet, like I said earlier, it will be linked down below in the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.